Good morning, students. Today we're going to learn about sexual reproduction and how it allows for many possible combinations of genes in offspring. Now, you're also going to be learning about how genes are segments of DNA are passed from parents to offspring. Now, building on behavior objective, once again, I am reiterating that students are to be showing integrity and upholding academic honesty in their assignments and in their work ethics. Now, let's review the assignment that you did yesterday. And so, to the left is a chart showing the parental generation. So, these are the parents of the F1 generation. Notice how the parents of the F1 are homozygous dominant, and homozygous recessive. This is to show you the advantage of an F1 offspring. The F1 offspring, when crossed from purebred parents, have traits from both parents. And so the yellow in this example, one dominant yellow is passed on to the F1, and one recessive green is passed on to the F1. And so the F1, the advantage of the hybrid is that it has one of each allele from its parent. Now an F2 is the offspring of parents that are the F1 generation. So both parents are F1 offsprings. They are both one big Y and one little y. And the reason that F2 is not so desirable is because of the possibilities that the offsprings can have. If you look carefully, the phenotype, there's 3 to 1. 3 yellows, 1 green. 75% chance of the phenotype is yellow. 25% chance is green. And so if you took F2 seeds, you have a possibility of getting a random assortment of colors. In terms of the genotypes, 25% of the offsprings are homozygous dominant, as shown right here. Big Y from parent 1, big Y from parent 2. In this quadrant is a homozygous dominant offspring. Now, this is a heterozygous cross. 2 offsprings, 2 out of 4 of the offsprings are heterozygous. They are a mix. They have, for example, for this quadrant, the big Y comes from parent 2. Parent 2's Y allele goes through, is distributed to the entire row, while the recessive Y from parent 1 is distributed down the whole column. And so this quadrant has the big Y from parent 2 and the little y from parent 1. 2 out of 4 of the offsprings are heterozygous. That's 50%. Now, the remainder, little y from parent 1, little y from parent 2, results in 1 out of 4 of the offspring being homozygous recessive. And so, the offsprings that are F2 have a very wide range of possibilities. There's 3 possible combinations, which is different from the F1. F1 is 100% hybrid, but F2 is 50% hybrid, 25% pure yellow, and 25% pure green. And so, that is an advantage, one can say, of an F2. But if you're a gardener, unfortunately, that is not an advantage for you, because you will get a mosaic arrangement of colors. You will have some green there, and a lot of yellows. It's not going to be one perfect flower bed. Now, once again, if you are lost in a heterozygous cross, I have included a color-coded chart of how to distribute the alleles. And so let's return to the big question. How does genetic traits get passed down from generation to generation? Some of you might wonder or have the question, isn't the crossing of F1 offspring inbreeding? Yes. In the case of Mendel's experiment and in the case of creating F1, F2 flowers, seeds, that is inbreeding. Now, this is sexual reproduction, but if done with parents from different histories, so different parents, they're not siblings or cousins, this is where the diversity of traits and genes can be shown. For us humans, we have 23 pairs of chromosomes. We get one set from mom and one set from dad. If our parents are not related, then we are getting a unique individual. The offspring will have diversity. Now, inbreeding between siblings or cousins, there is no new genetic material being introduced in the family tree. And now, yes, there could be varieties being created, but nothing new is being introduced into the family tree. And so you're always going to be using the same set of traits. There will be nothing new, no variety, no new variations being introduced. And so, which is why inbreeding between cousins, first, second, cousins, is not beneficial in terms of the genetic history of the family. And so now some quick vocabulary. We all know what a parent is. It is the individual or individuals who gave birth to an offspring. Because in sexual reproduction, there are 2 parents. In asexual reproduction, there is only 1. And so these 2 parents play a very important role in making sure that there is variation of traits and genes in the offspring. The offspring, you're an offspring of your parents. They are the descendants of a person, animal, or plant. Pretty standard. Now, a very big vocabulary word that was not introduced yesterday, but is being introduced now, is called the P generation. That is the parental generation. It is the generation which gave their genotype to the F1 offsprings. And it is the parental generation's genotype that we use to predict the genotype of the offspring. Now, once again, very important, sexual reproduction is reproduction taking place between two parents. Asexual, there is only one parent. And now for a quick review on DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. It is a molecule that holds instructions in the development of organisms, which is the same for human beings. DNA holds all the instructions a cell needs to develop into a new cell or to even form an entirely new human being. Now, it is important in reproduction that this genetic material is stored, reproduced. You have to recreate copies. It needs to be stored away safely and transferred from one generation to the next, because all cells can reproduce to make more copies of itself. And in sexual reproduction, half of the DNA is stored in sex cells. Now, when a sperm and an egg combine, it will form a zygote, and that zygote will have a full, complete set of DNA. It has all the instructions it needs now to develop into a new organism. And so this new set of DNA is composed of 23 pairs of chromosomes. 23 comes from dad, and 23 comes from mom. And so when 23 from mom, 23 from dad combines into the zygote, now there is 23 pairs of chromosomes, because you need 2 chromosomes to make up a genetic trait. And in that chromosome, each chromosome has 1 allele. And so this is where that variation comes from. You get 1 set of chromosomes from mom and 1 set of chromosomes from dad. And so in order to explore traits and variation, Ms. Butler has included 3 videos for you to watch. Now, after you watch the video, complete the worksheet that is provided in the assignment. And now, there is another resource that Ms. Butler would like you to use. It is a Baby Maker app. It is a link that leads to a computer-generated offspring that is created. And there you will explore how there's variation amongst all the offsprings that are generated from sexual reproduction. Now, once again, watch the 3 videos, complete the Google Doc assignment, submit the Google Doc assignment. Then there should be also a Google form. After you finish the Google form, please submit the form. And for those who are interested in seeing variation amongst offsprings, use the link provided by Ms. Butler for the Baby Maker app to see variation in offsprings. Good luck.